There's been a lot of shootings lately in schools, malls, and those kind of things, a lot by young people. I think that these people are much more about American culture and products of American culture than they are just disturbed individuals. America is a very violent nation. We're a warring empire now, and the fact that we are a warring empire has resulted in the deaths of many people, including innocent civilians. America is the leading exporter of weapons around the world, and often those weapons end up in enemies' hands, and they shoot back at us and our American soldiers. We have one of the highest incarceration rates in prisons of any nation in the world. Generally, America is very, very violent. The question is, why are we so violent? There are a number of reasons put forward, the drugs that people may take or various things, but I think by and large, if you really study American culture, we teach people to be violent. There have been a number of studies, the American Pediatric Association and other groups have done studies on why young people today are much more violent than they were, say, 20 or 30 years ago. One clear indicator is media violence. When I say media, I mean what we listen to music, what we see in movies, what we watch on television, what we see on the internet, and video games. We're teaching kids about violence. Children today absorb more violence probably in a week than I did in a year as a child. Things have changed. Video games are a primary mode of teaching violence. Video games are about blowing people away generally, and you get rewards for blowing people away. So what we're doing with our young kids today is we're normalizing violence for them. We're actually saying this is something that violence is a way out. Violence is a solution. If you watch most movies today, violent movies, and most movies are violent, the hero usually, his solution is violence. He ends up blowing somebody away. So clearly violence begets violence, but it's much more than that. We've lost our moral compass in this country. We've taken religion out of the public square, and I'm not talking just about Christianity or Judaism. I'm talking about any basic religious values. People today generally, especially young people, have no limits. They don't know the difference between right and wrong. I've often said, and I've had religious people say, we live in an immoral country. No, we don't. We live in an amoral country. People don't know the difference between right and wrong. In the process of all that we've seen, we've destroyed American community. And a lot of it has to do with two things, I'd say. Modern technology and parents just not being parents. And there are a number of experts say that parents have stopped being parents generally in America. Our kids are shuttled off to the schools or daycare centers. And even when parents are around their kids right now, they're either hooked up to a BlackBerry, they've got a cell phone implanted in their ear or whatever, they're ignoring their children. So we've destroyed the vital element that keeps the country together, that is community and the family. Do we really want to stop the violence? Well, there's a way we can do it. We have to start being responsible again. We have to remember that there are children out there that see all these things. Not just parents, but the corporations that are putting out all of this garbage, this violence, and some of these bad images you see on posters and everywhere that's in American life. We have to be responsible. We shouldn't be just about greed. We want to raise a culture of peaceful, loving people who are human beings. And if we don't get back the idea of community and morality and get away from pushing violence at kids, we're going to regret it, and we're going to have a tremendously violent future.